Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Relatives of crash victim want answers. It has been a month and a half of torment and misery for the Johnson family in Whitehall, Westmoreland. Their loved one, Alison Johnson, was mowed down as she walked on the streets of a commercial town. The driver of the vehicle has not been charged and they are still waiting to get her body for burial. The 42-year-old teacher of Brompton Primary and Native Anchovy District in White House died on July 16. Her father, Edmund Johnson, is searching for answers. Me want justice for her. Me no want no makeup. Me take me time and me rough it out. When the vehicle pass, the speedway pass pan, it look like it did upon a racetrack, he said in a distraught way. The killer is walking freely. The 72-year-old bar operator said the process of retrieving his daughter's body has been a slow one. The police are withholding her body to conduct further tests in Kingston, he told reporters. On the brink of tears, the deceased cousin, Wayne Johnson, graphically described how she died. Two scandal bag in her hand like this, her phone in her back pocket, and when the car reached right when it pick her up and fling her over the so, the irritated man said as he pointed to the spot a few feet away. When the car come to her, she frightened. The way she frightened, she just freeze with the two bag them in her hand, he said. He is lobbying for a pedestrian crossing to be painted on the spot where his cousin died, convinced it will slow the speed of cars and spare other relatives the pain he is now feeling. Member of Parliament for Westmoreland Eastern, Daniel Lawrence, has supported the call. He told reporters he will be speaking with the relevant authorities to explore the installation of the crossing. JLP councillor Christopher Towson pleads not guilty to fraud charges. Jamaica Labour Party JLP councillor for the Olympic Gardens Division in St. Andrew, Christopher Towson, pleaded yesterday not guilty to fraud-related charges in Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court. The businessman is charged with aiding and abetting the fraudulent use of a license plate, aiding and abetting of fraudulent use of a license disc, conspiracy to defraud, conspiracy to deceive, accessory before the fact, accessory after the fact, and aiding and abetting the fraudulent use of a VIN plate. His co-accused Bruce Stone, who is of a St. Catherine address, pleaded guilty. The men, who are each out on $100,000 bail, are to return to court on December 12. Allegations in the case are that Towson, who owns a fleet of buses, forged a license plate, a road license, motor vehicle fitness and registration documents, as well as a motor vehicle license disc, and gave them to Bruce, who owns a blue and white Toyota Coaster minibus. The court was told that the minibus was seized by the police on the Vineyards Toll Road after the driver of the vehicle was held for committing breaches of the Road Traffic Act. Questions were raised about the documents furnished by the driver for the minibus, and Stone was contacted by the Island Traffic Authority. The documents were examined and defects were observed. An investigation was then launched, and both men were later arrested and charged. There will be no chaos. The Jamaica Urban Transit Company JUTC has dismissed alarm bells raised by opposition spokesman on transport Michael Phillips that commuters will be met with several cares at the start of the new school year. The state-owned and operated bus company said, having met its obligation for the resumption of schools countless times over the years, this occasion is no different. We are back in the back-to-school mode right now, and our preparations are ongoing. I know what we're doing and what we'll be doing on the morning of the back-to-school. We know what we're doing at JUTC. We've done back-to-school up 10 times. I've let the morning of back-to-school speak for itself, Managing Director of the company Paul Abrahams told reporters on Tuesday. On Monday, Phillips had issued a news release warning of a pending crisis in bus service in just under 2 weeks. He pointed to a rapid decline in the service over the summer holidays, with just over 100 units being rolled out per day instead of 260, he said, are usually occurring during the summer. Phillips said the effective transit demand in the Kingston Metropolitan Transport Region KMTR for the school term is in excess of 450 buses. He argued that when students return to classes, the JUTC will not cope, leading a long delay and late school arrivals. This is a clear and imminent danger, and we're holding into a period of mayhem in the transport system. He also said, if the situation is not rectified this week, there will be a chaotic start in the school year. However, Abrams said that while he could not provide the exact number of buses slated for the rollout in September, the fleet would include several rehabilitated units. He also advised that the JUTC will be adding buses to a number of routes, but those logistics are still being ironed out at this point. Right now, operations are looking at rotationalizing routes. It is in fact that we don't have all the resources, so we use the resources as best as we can, he stated. Dr. Shauna Gay Brown, General Manager for Montego Bay Metro, which provides school bus service on the western side of the island, said all systems are in place to roll out September for the new school year. Montego Bay Metro is basically ready. We have no choice but to be ready for the new school year. We know that the parents and the children are relying on us as of the most considered safety means of transportation, so it's expected that we will meet our obligation. We will be there for the people, Dr. Brown told reporters. She said customer service training has also been ramped up for the staff to ensure that students are provided with the best service. The company operates 7 buses in St. James and Trelawney, covering the communities of Sandy Bay, Goodwill, Falmouth, Macphail, and Cambridge Road. Meanwhile, the two main transport operator groups have opposing views on what commuters will face in September. Head of the Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services Studs, Mr. Newman, said the issue facing the public transportation sector is rationalization of seats, not number of seats. There will be no chaos. There are just under 40,000 public passenger vehicles in Jamaica, about 13,000 operating in the KMTR, and when you multiply that 40, an average of 7 seats, you get just over 320,000 seats, which is well in line with the amount of persons proposing to travel using public passenger vehicles, and that doesn't include the JUTC, he said. Newman argued that there are too many buses on such routes. On the other routes, private operators are a law unto themselves, running routes although they are not JUTC sub-franchises, and others there who are either no JUTC buses or not enough of them. We have enough seats, but they're not being managed. What they need to do is to regulate the taxis, throw down the color to them, and make changes to the regulations to allow them to operate on certain routes. They want to be regulated because they're running illegally now, even though they have red plates, he told reporters on Tuesday. He pointed to several routes in the corporate era which are served by operators who are not a part of the JUTC sub-franchising regime, arguing that it is time to regulate these routes and provide the operators with training and certification and allow them to provide the service legally. When you see them running, they're not running from passengers, they're running from the police. So change the regulation and allow them to run those routes, he said. He also said the government needs to come to the rescue of the small operators who are unable to access loans to retrofit their vehicles as required. He said the finance ministry needs to encourage the commercial banks to buy into supporting the public transport sector. The JUTC cannot manage a large fleet, they march down every day, but we can do it, Newman stated. At the same time, President of the Jamaica Association of Transport Owners and Operators, Louis Barton, agreed with Phillips that the sector isn't looking good for September. The private operators, especially in the KMTR, they are not organized to carry people in an organized way. The real solution to the problem is to have a real effective JUTC where you can count on JUTC having 40 buses rolling out every morning, but now I'm hearing that we have 220 buses per day and a certain amount of buses have to return before the end of the day because of breakdown or all of that, he said. He lamented that in the current situation, the JUTC is now playing the leading role that it should, and it is the private operators who are dominating the public transport system, which is in a state of disarray. Barton said a part of the solution is to require operators to become members of private operators associations so that arrangements can be made through these groups for proper scheduling on the various routes. 96 new COVID-19 cases, no deaths reported. The Minister of Health and Wellness recorded 96 new COVID-19 cases on Tuesday, August 23rd, bringing the infection total to 149,092. No deaths were reported. The new cases comprise 45 females and 51 males, with ages ranging from 1 day to 96 years. The cases were recorded in Kingston and St. Andrew 33, Clarendon 14, St. James 11, St. Catherine 9, Trelawney 7, Manchester 6, St. Mary and Westmoreland 4, Hanover 3, Portland and St. Thomas 2, and St. Anne 1. St. Elizabeth was the only parish to record 0 cases. There were 93 recoveries in the last 24 hours, bringing the total to 95,976. Currently, 107 people are hospitalized, 17 of whom are moderately ill, 4 severely ill, and 3 in critical condition. Jamaica's positivity rate for the latest round of testing is 23.9%. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell.